This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at 3 small farms. But before that, this video is brought to you by David C. and Artemis. Thank you for being farm barons. So the 3 small farms map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a bit of the description. Welcome to the 3 Small Farms map. It is a map created and imagined from A to Z and is totally fictitious. You'll find all your happiness there, whether you are for solo or multiplayer games. Wow, that is quite a bit to live up to. This map contains 1 farm with cows, 1 farm with pigs, and 1 farm with sheep, a BGA, 2 agricultural cooperatives, point of sales distributed through the map. We have campsites, we have a village, we have a Massey Ferguson dealer, Sawmill, petrol station. It says in the description 3 mods required, but really it needs 4 mods and 20 custom collectibles. This map includes 65 fields and meadows, various forest patches around the map. Factories are scattered all over the map. Various water points also to refuel your crops and animals. There are standard missions as well as missions on meadows. Now this says a custom soil map, but when I took a look at the log, it was loading the generic soil map. So I'm not really sure why that is listing as having a custom soil map. But at any rate, in addition to the map, you will need 4 required mods. Those 4 required mods are stone walls, factory soy drink, factory bottle milk, and factory flavored bottle milk. So in addition to the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps, which are additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming, we're also going to load up the factory bottle milk, factory soy drink, factory milk bottle factory, and then the stone walls. I will tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main farm is built out exactly how you see it here in new farmer mode. In addition, you do have machinery in all play modes. Now, when we load into the map for the very first time, we start here in town, and we have our PDA with a little bit of a legend as to where what is. In fact, we have farms located at item number 1, item number 5, and then item number 7. And then right next to this, well, guess what, people? We have collectibles. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. We've got a map that is probably about half the size of a normal map, maybe a little bit larger than that. Let's go with 60%. This map does have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22. And take a look at the lands area. We have farmland ID number 3. That is the main starting farm. You can buy that in an alternate game mode for $334,968. In addition to that, we also own Field 18, which is Farmland 19, and Field 42, which is Farmland ID 55. Now, we own the cow farm at the start, but Farmland ID 4 is going to be the pig farm. That can be bought for $111,000. Then Farmland ID 2 is going to be the sheep farm, which can be bought for $186,000. Now, over here, Farmland 76, we have either an abandoned farm area that we could buy and kind of restore, or we have kind of like an abandoned old structure that all that left is we've got the outside kind of perimeter walls. Very, very similar to the walls that we see here at the various farm areas. This map does include a BGA, which is located down here right beside Forest 81. And when you buy the BGA, then you will own the land associated with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, which fields are included, then ultimately how much is that farmland going to cost us. You'll see that the farmlands and the fields do not line up. That can be a little bit annoying, but it is good to know that. and we will be cross-referencing the field numbers with our farmland numbers when we take a look at our field calculator screen. And taking a look at the field calculator screen, we're going to see the specific sizes of each specific field. So if there is a field we are interested in, we can reference that with this listing and then cross-reference the field number with the farmland lease screen number to then see how much it's going to cost to buy that particular field. Taking a look at our crop counter, we do have the standard FS22 crop counter available on the map. And looking at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell most, but not all of the items that are available to us in the base game. We can sell all the crops as well as all of our animal outputs, but that is where it stops being normal. Because once we get down here to the standard base game production items, you're going to see that we do not have the ability to sell fabric, nor do we have the ability to sell clothing. It gets even worse because down here we also do not have the ability to sell any planks. Now what's odd is we have a sawmill, we have a carpentry in the map built in, and we have a spinnery built in. We don't have a tailor built in, but we do have a spinnery. So the spinnery is going to make fabric, can't sell it. We could process the fabric into clothing, can't sell it. We could take the sawmill and make planks, can't sell it. We could take the sawmill planks to the carpentry and then further process that into furniture. Yes, we can. So that is a bonus there. But we do not have the ability to sell all of the base game production items. We do have the ability to buy bulk lime. We do not have a built-in stone crusher. So if you do play with stones enabled, you will need to put down your own way of getting rid of those stones, or you will want to turn stones off. With respect to the Platinum expansion, we do not have the ability to sell any other Platinum expansion production items on this particular map. In addition, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, you'll find that we also do not have the ability to get rid of our separated manure on this map without putting down a sell point. Then we do have some additional products in oat milk bottle, bottle of soy drink, bottle of chocolate and strawberry milk, bottle of regular milk, and then a carton of soy drink. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we do start out with a decent list of starting machinery. It is all owned, none of it is leased, and is all well maintained. We do have the cow barn at the starting farm, but we do not have any animals. We do have contracts. We do not own any production chains at the start, and we do have the 20 collectibles. And if you read the pop-up when we collected that first collectible, you will know that we have gold bars and horseshoes located around the map. Let's jump back up here and take a look at the soil map. And the description said that we had a custom soil map on here. But like I said, looking at the logs, it is looking like it is loading up the generic soil map. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Given the fact that we are looking at the bottom of the map, I do have to say this is looking very much like the generic soil map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out owning the small Massey Ferguson 5S105 small tractor. We then have the medium Massey Ferguson 6718S tractor. We have the Nova 330 harvester that is paired up with the Power Stream 500 grain header. And then for our header trailer, we have the Nardi N40B. We have our 1986 pickup truck, as well as the Crot 140T trailer. We have the POV5 XL Agrimaz plow, the Cinto 4000 Super cultivator. We have the KG 3001 Super Amazon power harrow. That is paired up with the Cinta 3000 Super seeder. We have the Presea 4500 2C Super planter, the Amazon ZATS 3200 fertilized spreader. We have the GMD 4411 side mower, as well as the GF 8712 tedder. The GA 4731 windrower is included, as well as the Reliant 455 RC Unirap round baler and wrapper combo. We have the Anderson RBM 2000 bale trailer, as well as the Silo King TMR mixer. We have the Q3M front loader arms, and for the front loader, we have a bale fork, a manure fork with grapple. And that is all the machinery that we start out with. Taking a look at our mods and DLC screen, you will see that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are a part of this map. I'm just going to quickly tab over here to the starting farm. I got some interesting slats there, but at any rate, here we are at our starting farm. And we do have little custom fuel tank here, gas tank. Total of 1,000 liter capacity. We have our silo system. We have our dump and fill point. Some of our hay making machinery. Now, with respect to, can the farms be customizable? The answer is I can sell the buildings on the starting farm and the pig farm, and I can sell some of the buildings on the sheep farm. But, there's a big but here. All of these decorative items stay. So the barrels stay, the big tires stay, the old generator stays. The decorative items that you're going to find scattered around, they all remain. The steel stays. And as such, you really don't have much benefit in selling the buildings off. For example, if you sell the cow pasture off here, the wheel up there stays, interestingly enough. So here we have our fill point for our milk. Here we have our manure heap. We can hold 150 cows in this building. And we have our straw and food trigger. Our slurry point here along the side. Some more of our machinery. Our larger tractor. We have our farmhouse. We have a maintenance trigger here. Then we have our wardrobe trigger. And then we have our sleep trigger. We do have three-sided silage bunkers. And then this map does include bale storage located right here. And that is our starting farm area. And as I said, we can sell the buildings, but lots of things remain, like the decorative trash that's kind of around here. We can sell the bale storage building, but the triggers remain. It's just kind of interesting. So I would not really advise trying to sell the buildings here on this map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode. Since we do have various required mods, we are going to find that there are sheds and production items that are custom available on the map. For example, we have some sheds right here, which are part of the map, as well as some silos. Silo extensions, we are working with our default items. And then we have no custom farmhouses. Under production, sorry, we do have the normal production that is associated with the factory bottled milk, the factory soy drink, and the factory flavored bottled milk. That is located right there, as well as some other production items that are built in. We do have the sell points that are associated with those required mod production areas. We have our standard greenhouses, orchards, and generators. We do have the ability to put down some custom animal pens that are on the various farms. Our decorative items are standard with exception of the stone walls required mod. And then as far as our ground textures, we do have a fair number of ground textures. So let's go ahead and kind of take a closer look at those. We have our asphalt. Another flavor of asphalt. We have concrete. We have flagstones, which really looks like stamped concrete. We have forest ground. We have gravel. The form of gravel. Animal mud. Sand. Another flavor of animal mud. Another flavor of asphalt. Dirt. Grass. Cobblestones. More grass. Then we have our rock. Then we have our granite. Standard FS22 trees, as well as plants. Overall, really nice, I think, quality in ground textures that we do have that we can paint down. To really refine the overall look of the map. Let's get a little bit of altitude and take a little bit of look around. For now, we're looking at the western edge of the map. Coming around to the southern side. Off in the distance, we have our vehicle dealer. Our animal dealer. It's also over there. Coming around to the main village. And then directly in front of us, we have the pig farm. So you will see scattered around the map, we do have some utility poles in the fields. These utility poles do have collisions. So do note, hired helpers will work around these, and you will need to also work around those if you are using courseplay and or just doing farm work manually. All of the farms have this wonderful entryway with signage to help you identify which farm does what. We've got our milk trigger there as well. Let's make our way over to the pig farm. And let me go ahead and buy the pig farm. That way we can see where all these triggers are going to pop up. So we have the pig farm. We have a water trigger associated with it. And again, we can sell all of the buildings here on the pig farm. But what we cannot do is get rid of the decorative elements scattered around the pig area. Through town here, we have several sell points. The Bale sell point there. We have a restaurant sell point. We have a sell point here kind of at the farmer's market. We have our bakery. We have our carpentry. And while we're talking about the production on the map, we have 11 production items built into the map. They include the cereal factory. We have a sawmill, carpentry, bakery, a bottle milk factory. Then we have a soy drink factory, a spinnery, a dairy, sugar mill, flavored bottle milk factory as well. So here we have our sugar factory. We have a sell point here at the campground. We have our dairy below. A small sell point. Let's double back a little bit. Mama Joe's Diner sell point. Then here we have the entryway to the sheep farm. Now at the sheep farm, we do not have the ability to sell all the buildings. There are some buildings we can get rid of, but for whatever reason here at the sheep farm, there's a fair number of buildings that are going to be permanently part of the map. So overall, we are going to give the map a half a point with respect to can the farms be customizable. So we have a large sheep pasture here. We have our silo. We have our water trigger. Over here we have our animal dealer, as well as the ability to buy manure, slurry, and a bale sell point. We do need to loop back a little bit because we've got our sawmill down below. We are going to be giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such. And we are going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point with respect to being able to sell all our basic products, production items, or animal outputs. So down here we have our spinnery. We have our bottled milk factory. And then we have our soy drink factory. This is the area I mentioned that could be kind of an abandoned farm area or some sort of kind of old historical thing going on here. We've got kind of an entryway very similar to what we see at the other farms. We've got our stone walls here. You can come in here and clear the trees and then make use of this. And then we got a little bit of a ramp up to an upper level. Then over here we have our flavored bottled milk factory. Here we have our cereal factory. Again, our sheep area below. Our animal dealer below. Coming up to the BGA right now. And if you own the BGA, I was successful in selling this portion of the biogas plant. Now, when I did sell the BGA, there was a trigger. This one back here. This little floaty blue icon stayed. So I don't know if that's going to ultimately impact your ability to build out your own BGA, but do note that for whatever reason, that little floaty blue icon remained. Nothing else here at the BGA was able to be sold. So the easy shed, the scales, the 2 pull-through bunkers, and these 2 large buildings here, they are all going to remain. And then we have our Massey Ferguson dealership. We have our service bay, and then we have our sales office. Let's go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. See where our vehicles spawn in at, a decent size here at the entryway. Do note we do have a fairly small area to get out of the shop. So don't get too large of machinery. Then around the side, we have our maintenance, customize, repair, repaint, dealer trigger. So it is very, very important to understand the size of the entryway coming in and out of the shop here. You're going to want to make sure you buy machinery that is small enough to get through there. Then coming up to our biogas plant. Come through to our scales. We have our 2 pull-through bunkers. We have a sell point for wood chips. We have a sell point for bales. And then we have our BGA itself. So we have our dump point for our slurry. We have our digester. We have our interactive icon. And then we have a fill point for digestate. Yes, we have a fill point for digestate around the front and the back. As I misspoke earlier, that's going to be our digestate fill point. So I'm not really sure what that floaty blue icon is around the back. It may actually not serve a purpose. I do like this map with respect to its rolling hills, its ground elevation changes, kind of the winding and meandering of the roads. Visually, the map is laid out very well. I guess we took the high road. I thought maybe the high road would take me over to the animal dealer, but it does not look like that is the case. We might as well take the high road across the top part of the map here. This map seems ideal for medium to small machinery. Maybe 6 meters or less would probably be a good general rule of thumb. Traffic isn't too excessively heavy. Now, with respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texturing technique, I am going to give the map a full point there as well. We are using new textured buildings throughout. Even buildings that have been retextured appear to be using new texturing techniques where we have depth to the textures. So here we have our spinnery, we have our dump point, our interactive icon, and our pallet spawn point. And even getting in and out of these sell points is kind of narrow. Here we have our milk bottler. So we have our interactive point here at the front. Our dump point and a bottle pallet on the side. Our soy drink facility. So we have our pallet, our dump point, our water point, and our interactive icon. Let's go ahead and pause here, because I do want to do a little bit of a rundown on the custom production that is brought with this map. So taking a look at the production, we have our cereal production, fairly standard base game cereal production here. We have our BGA, again, fairly standard. We have our sawmill. We have then a carpentry shop. We have our bakery. We have our milk bottler, and that's going to take milk and make bottles of milk. Then we have our factory soy drink. That is going to take soybeans and water and produce soy drink. 15 units of soybeans, 15 units of water. It's going to make 13 units of soy drink. Our spinnery, fairly standard spinnery here, as well as fairly standard dairy sugar mill. And then we have the flavored milk bottler. We're going to make oat milk, soy milk, chocolate milk, and strawberry milk. So oat milk bottles are going to be milk, oats, and sugar. Then we have soy milk, which is going to be milk, soybeans, and sugar. Our chocolate milk is going to be milk, sugar, and chocolate. Then our strawberry milk is going to be milk, sugar, strawberries, and then they're going to have ourselves some strawberry flavored milk. Let's continue to take this road down and around the eastern edge of the map. We'll be able to once again kind of check out this abandoned area. It's been kind of overtaken by nature. Come in here, you can clear this out, flatten it down, and do whatever you really want with it. We have a lime buy point. We have a couple sell points going on here. Let's go ahead and check the map and see what we have. So we have our cooperative and our sell point for our wool and cotton. So we have a grain sell point here, and then a wool and cotton sell point around the side. Windy roads, man. Windy roads. So here we're going to have a sell point for what appears to be soy milk. More windy roads. I really like how this is all set up. The windy road network, the elevation changes, the irregularly shaped and elevated fields gives this map a nod to reality because of how we have things just kind of going here and there and yonder. But I thought this would meet up with this road. So we're just going to do a little off-roading here. Make our own way. To our sugar factory. Interactive icon, pallet spawn point. Dump point around the back. Now we're coming across the northern part of the map. It does look like the map author could extend the play area on the map to the north at some point if they wanted to. Field 42 is over here to our right. This is one of the fields that we own at the start. There we have our carpentry. So we have our dump point, our wood cell icon. We have our interactive icon through the door there. And our pallet spawn point for our furniture. Oh my, we've had a very, very busy intersection here. Don't walk down the road, man. Jeez, you have sidewalks, use them. I'll double back. So we have our restaurant sell point, or a restaurant sell point here. Then center to town, we have our farmers market area. Right there. Our bakery is over here to the right. So their interactive icon. Dump point. Oh, dump point. Pallet spawn point is not indicated, although I would kind of expect to be back here at the same area where we have our dump point. So that is a little disappointing. And then inside of here, we have another bale farm sell point. Our pig farm is right around the corner. We might as well go check that out. There's the entryway to the pig farm. Nice long lane leading into here. We have our farmhouse, so we have our wardrobe trigger, our sleep trigger as we have seen over at the pig farm. We have bale storage once again. We have our maintenance trigger once again. Our fuel point. We have our farm silo. Dump and fill point. Implement and vehicle storage. We have our slurry trigger. We have our manure heap. We have our food trough. And then we have our point for our pigs. 60 pigs here. And that is our pig area. Our little water point right down there. Now, let's double back and take a look at the sheep farm. We go right past the bakery. We have our entry to our sheep. We have our sleep trigger. Our maintenance area. We have a fuel point. gas station, bale storage. And then we have our sheep building. So we have our wool point. We have our food point. Then our sheep drop-off points over here by the gate. 100 sheep in here. And that is pretty much the sheep area. We're going to have to kind of wind our way back around to hit some of the other sell points and production points that we have missed so far. We have a fuel point. Kind of like that set up there. Here we have a sell point for our various flavored bottled milks. And then let's go ahead and just do a little in-cab driving as we drive over to some more items. Our campground on the lake. Here we have a sell point for bottled milk. Plain white bottled milk. We have our campground. And we're going to need to come through here. Let's get to our sell point of various producible products. We might find some collectibles through there too. You never know. We have our dairy. So we have an interactive icon. We have our dump point for our milk. We have our pallet spawn point around the back. Actually, this may be a milk sell point. Yes, there we have a sell point for milk, then our dairy production. So that is a milk sell point, whereas the dump point for the dairy is around the back. Thought maybe we were going to see a little bit of customization with respect to that production area, but instead we just had a sell point added to the production point area. And here we go. So here we have another lime buy point. Then we have a sell point and then a production delivery point. Our interactive icon and our pallet spawn point. And this is going to be for, I believe, our cereal factory. Yep, that is our grain mill. Sorry, our grain mill. Our flavored milk production is just up the road. So we have our pallet spawn point, our dump point, our interactive icon at the side door. And then further up yet, we have our sawmill. Again, really, I like these roads. Kind of fun and engaging at the same time. So we have our spawn point for our wood chips, our wood cell dump and interactive icon. We have a sell point for logs over here with our wood cell trigger. We have our pallet spawn point for our planks. And there we go. And that appears to be a dead end road. Let's have more fun driving on these roads. This is a map for someone who wants to drive, I think. I mean, if you're into auto drive, that's fine. That's fine. But you really should, in my opinion, drive these roads because they're windy and they're fun. You can take that to the bank. Make our way to a little bit more. Final two areas of interest. Final few areas of interest. We got the animal dealer yet. And I think that might be just about it. So while we're making our way over there, let's run down our points real quick. We're going to give the map a full point with production being built in or areas set aside for such. We're going to be giving the map a full point also with respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texturing techniques. We're going to be giving the map a half a point with respect to can the farm or farms be customizable, because overall the farms are not as customizable as one would hope. We can sell all the buildings, but we cannot sell, this is where we need to go. But what we cannot do is we cannot sell the decorative items. The decorative items are not tied to the buildings for which they are connected to or closest to, such that once you do sell those buildings, well, you're going to find yourself with a lot of stuff kind of scattered around. It's going to make it awful hard for you to do maybe what you want to do with respect to a custom farm build. We're going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point with respect to being able to sell all of our base game crops, production items, and animal outputs, because we do not have the ability to sell fabric, clothing, or planks. And then finally, we are going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point with respect to player and interactive areas being clearly marked, because, well, while almost all the areas are indeed clearly marked for our pallet production and our sell points. What we do not have a good indicator on is down at the bakery. Sadly, the bakery is what is causing this score to drop. We do not have, as best I could see, an indicator showing us where our pallets for our bakery is going to spawn. So that's going to give this map a score of 4.0 out of 5. 4.0 out of 5. I think that's a very, very good score. I would like to have seen a little bit more attention given with respect to the ability to sell fabric, clothes, and planks. Right there, that'll give you another quarter point. The ability to sell the decorative items at the farms. I mean, all the buildings, for the most part, other than a few at the sheep farm, can be sold. That work's already been done. But we have to associate the decorative bits either with its own thing to sell. And if it is associated, I didn't see it. I couldn't figure out what to click on in order to sell those other associated items. That would have given the map another half a point. And then the trigger markers for the pallets at the bakery. So down here, we do have animated animals, which you can see. We have a slurry buy point. We have a manure buy point to purchase products. We have a bale sell point to sell our products. Then we have our animal dealer located right here to buy our animals. So guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the 3 Small Farms map? Is this map that you're going to give it a go? Would this be a good map for the newly released Hay and Forage Pack for Farming Simulator 22? What are your thoughts on what Pack 3 might be, and when do you think we might see it? And until next time, happy farming.